what's going on, freedomers? So in this video, we're gonna talk about why selfishness. Why selfishness? So I believe to be successful in any area, you have to be selfish. So there's nobody, but there's only one you. So before I said it, go to bit.ly/astrology forum, or the link in my bio, or to bit.ly/astrology forum, or the link in my bio. So there's only one you. There's not two yous, there's not three yous, there's not four yous, there's not five yous. There's only you. So there's only one, because there's only one you. You have to take care of you. Nobody will get you the life you desire. And that's just a fact. Nobody outside of you will give you the life you desire. Nobody. Especially from a man's perspective. Like, nobody's coming out here taking care of men, at least not from my perspective, and giving you the life you desire. You have to live with you for the rest of your life, so make it pleasurable. And that's just something I came up with. You have to live with you for the rest of your life. Make it pleasurable. Make it a pleasurable experience as much as possible. That doesn't mean every part of your life is going to be happy, but because you have to deal with you for the rest of your life, make it as pleasurable as possible, because either you're going to live by your agenda, or someone else's. And that's just a fact. Either you're gonna live by someone else's agenda, or you're gonna live by your own agenda. Nobody outside of you is gonna give you the life you desire. That's just a repeat of the second point. Nobody will give you the life you desire. Nobody. Your desires are for you. Your life is up to you. That's just a reiteration of what I just said. Your life is up to you, because it's your life. Life energetically only responds to you. It doesn't respond to your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your boss. Your life energetically only responds to you. Yes, we do live in a world where we're all connected, but life energetically, at its core basis, only responds to you. You can only control you, nothing else. You can only control you, nothing else. You can't control anything outside of you. Especially if it's not of your control, if it's not of your creation. If it's not of your creation, then you can't control it. And even, like, let's say your creation being a child, you can't control them because they have a life of their own. Because they have a life of their own, they can still make decisions on their own. You can't elevate your life until you love yourself, until you love you more, not anyone else. You can't elevate anyone else. You can't elevate your life until you love you more, and not anyone else. Loving someone else doesn't elevate your life, and I've realized that through serving people. No matter how much you serve others, and I mean not in a way where it's like you serve to, not in a way like when you're serving others, like it's a service, like a back and forth. You give for you to receive something. But I mean, no matter how much you give to others indiscriminately, meaning without proper judgment, or without proper energetic exchange, like in other words, it's a give and receive, then you could give the world your all. But again, that's not you loving you. Loving you has to have an exchange of give and receive. To be successful, and like I said earlier, to be successful in any area, you have to be selfish. Because if you're not, then you'll be too selfless, where you value yourself less. The problem with selflessness is that if it's out of proportion, you'll value yourself less. And even others will value you less because you're too selfless. Too much selflessness will have you be valued less, but too much selfishness will be termed as greed. So it is a balance, but practice more selfishness than selflessness, because you want to put yourself where you're in a position of high regard and high value, because self-preservation is a must. And that's what I mean by selfishness. I mean selfishness meaning self-preservation. So you have to preserve self. That is the number one rule to survive on planet Earth: self-preservation. So go to bit.ly/astrology forum to learn how to do that astrologically. Go to bit.ly/astrology forum, because with self-preservation evolves into self-mastery. Peace.